Hi, I'm reading the Epistle of James, and it's in the King James Version, and I may have some commentary as I go. I might not be able to help it. Chapter 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trial of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that gives to all men liberally, and upbraids not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavers is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. All right, it's way too hard for me not to talk about this. Where it says, count it all joy when you fall into many temptations, that the trial of your faith works patience, and let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. It's really, really important, because what God's saying here is that we are to really see when we are tempted, when we are put in a position to do what we feel like we don't want to do, that we need to count it as joy. And why? Why does he say that? Because it works patience. Because if patience has her perfect work, we will be perfect and entire, and we will want for nothing. Now, if you really understand what's going on here, it's all about the gift of growth. We cannot grow without any pain. There's nothing that happens in life that doesn't require pain for growth, unfortunately, but we don't have to see that pain as bad. You could look at it as the same way you look at physical fitness. When your muscles are stretched, you don't feel like that's a bad thing. When you leave the gym and your butt hurts and your arms hurt and your thighs hurt, that's pain, isn't it? But we interpret it as good. So when we're being stretched and there's something put in front of us, and then we're patient and we say, no, I'm not going to go on that easy road because there's no help for me there. I'm going to stick to what it is, whatever it is that you wanted to do. If you have a goal that you've set and then something looks like a shortcut, but your goal was to do X, Y, and Z. But now something comes across your path where you could say, oh, forget that. I don't have to do that. I'm going to do this instead. Well, that's a temptation, right? But we can't get anywhere if we don't stick to what it is that we know will be the best thing for us. So we say, no, I'm going to resist that temptation, and I'm going to have patience. And then the reason that it says that let patience have her perfect work, that me be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Of course, the word perfect doesn't mean that you make no mistakes. It's that we will be at a place where we can sincerely trust ourselves, and we will be absolutely standing in faith with God. Where it says, let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavers is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let no man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Now, we've been painted a picture of God like he's this finger-pointing, judgmental, ready to slap us on the wrist kind of father or something. And so because we've been taught that, or we've been led to believe that, when we see a verse that says, "For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord," it makes us think that, oh, if I don't keep my mind straight, where it says, "But he that wavers is like the wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering." Then we think, oh, well, if I don't do it exactly right, then God's not going to give it to me. But that's not what it's saying at all. Listen to it in a different tone. Think of this like God is trying to tell you, this is the way it works in the world, kids. This is the way you get anything. If you can ask in faith and you could stay your mind focused on what it is that you want, that thing will come to you because you're putting that energy out there. You're in faith, expecting. And he says, "But don't let that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord if he is driven with the wind and tossed, if he wavers, not because he doesn't want to give it to you because now you made a mistake and you didn't do it right, but because you will not be able to receive it if your mind isn't stayed on it. Your energy has been focused on something else, and we get what our energy is focused on." And the verse that says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, well, that's just a fact. If you can't keep your mind stayed, then you're going to be unstable. In everything that you do, there's going to be no stability. Okay. Now, this portion is, let's see, I don't know what I read up to. I'll read verse 9. I think I stopped at verse 8. "Let not the brethren of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withers the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perishes. So also shall the rich man fade away in all his ways." Now that's not saying that it's bad to be rich. If it was bad to be rich, then Joseph wouldn't have been wealthy, and Jacob wouldn't have been wealthy, and Solomon and David, and there's so many that were favored financially from God. So this doesn't mean that having money is bad. What it's saying is to put things into proportion, put things into perspective. See that nobody lasts forever, that the flowers are here today. He's comparing us to the flowers in the field. They're here today and they're gone tomorrow. Put your stock in things that are not temporal, such as money. But it isn't saying that we are evil or bad or wrong if we have money. "Blessed is the man that endures temptation." Now, it doesn't say that God gives us temptation. It says, "Blessed is the man that endures temptation." We're body, soul, and spirit. So if we have a temptation, it's just in the body. We all know this. We have to train ourselves. That's why we're people and not animals. We can train ourselves to say no to the cake, to say no to the additional glass of wine if we feel like we've had enough. We have the ability to overstep what the body wants. So blessed is the man that endures temptation, For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempts he any man. So when you feel like you're tempted for something, don't think God put that in the way. He may test us, but it's very different than tempting. A test is something to see, are we prepared for more responsibility? Could we handle this? And if we can, then more will come. And if we can't, then he'll just wait till we are ready. Okay, where am I? But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then, when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and when it is finished, it brings forth death. Now, sin is anything that's contradictory to God's principles. And really, God's principles, he says that he brings no sorrow with it. So it isn't like he has these rules, do this and do that or else. It's do this because this is where life is. Do that, and that is where death is. It's very simple. Throw yourself off a building, no matter who you are, and that law of gravity is going to pull you down. Okay? Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and comes down from the Father of lights, which whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. If we all could just get that one principle, we would be in so much better shape. There's a verse that says, be still and know that I am God. I think there could be a book written about that verse. If he says, let every man be swift to hear, so listen, open up your ears and listen. Don't talk over people. Don't think about what you're going to say next. Listen. Then be slow to speak and slow to wrath. Don't react, in other words. For the wrath of man works not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. That word glass is mirror. For he beholds himself and goes his way, and straightway forgets what manner of man he was. See, we are very powerful beings. And if we are going to walk on this earth like we're just a body and soul, but not a spirit, well, that's like we forgot. We forgot what we are inside. We are children of God. We are his creation. It says in John, 3rd John somewhere, I think it's 3rd John, might be 1st John. Beloved, now are ye children of God. Now. Beautiful. But whoso looks into this perfect law of liberty and continues therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridles not his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is in vain. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So, in reality, what that's saying is that, because it's talking about doing the word, not just hearing it. There's a verse that said, "Whoso has this world's good and shuts up his bowel of compassion on another person, how does the love of God dwell in him?" That's saying, if you have something good to give and you see somebody needs it, and you just say, I don't want to do that, then you're just a hearer of a word and not a doer of it. So in this one little section where it says that to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, it's just do good to other people if you have it in your ability to do it. And keep yourself unspotted from the world. How can we keep ourselves unspotted from the world? Well, there's some ways that we can keep ourselves unspotted from the world that is very deliberate. Like, what do you fill your ears and your eyes with? If we're always watching television and very negative things of people killing people, and we play video games of people killing people, is there any way that you could be unspotted? You are purposefully going in and saying to the world, please spot me up. Now, there's some things that, we live in the world, but we're not of the world. So we do what Jesus did. We take his example. He got up a great while before day, and he took time to be with God. We have to take time to plug in. It's important. It depends on what's the most important thing to you. To stay unspotted by the world is to keep company with people that emulate what it is that you want to emulate: success, abundance, fitness, health, financial security, positivity, productivity. If we put ourselves in the position always to be among those that don't want to work, don't want to take care of themselves, not to say that we don't love those people, but if we are involved mostly with those things in our life, we are only going to mirror those things in our life, and we cannot be possibly unspotted from the world. And it isn't because God says, then you're bad. It's just because this is the way it works in the world. What you want, you pay attention to. And what you don't want, you don't pay attention to. What you want to come into your life, you bring into your life with people and experiences. What you don't want to bring into your life, then you stay away from those people and experiences that emulate what it is you don't want. Nothing in the Bible is said to point a finger at you and say you're bad or wrong. It's all just to guide us and help us to live the life that Jesus came to give us. In chapter 10, verse 10 of John, he came to give us life and to give it more than abundantly. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. That was James 1. I hope that this helped you relax, maybe fall asleep if you needed it for that, to get peaceful, to get quiet, whatever it is that you needed this whisper, talking, ASMR, Bible reading experience for. I hope that it's been achieved, Thank you so much for listening. And my name is Kathy Roberts. I'll talk to you some other time.